I miss you, it's just because we're running late. I just wanted to thank you for being here, because to export is really to build an ecosystem. There's no single company or institution that tells you they will drive exports of the country. They'll be lying to do it alone. And that's why I just wanted, for me as a layman, to tell you or show you, especially the media people, because my mind thinks better when I write. Why am I interested in Cargolex and Technology Associates? Really, I would meet them on the street. I would not know them from Adam. But when I heard, I thought, okay, this is very interesting. So I just wanted to draw something for you. If you are going to, if you're a farmer like me, where are our pens, Matthew? So there is a distance between a farmer and a consumer. And many times we think that because I am a farmer or a producer, or let me even use the media. My name is Kim Kalisa. I own NBS. I have created good content. The assumption is that someone will be watching. Not always. Because customers have so many options these days to watch on telephone, to watch on TV or on their computer, or to have content delivered. I'm sure there are new things that young people are doing that we don't know yet. How content and food products will be delivered in the year 2070. We don't know. So let me just picture this in mind. So take a farmer who is in the district of Katakwi. That farmer has to have, I call this product adoption chain. If you do business, you know what I'm talking about. Huh? So, and those plows need to be checked. So you have chemicals. Those of us who own cows, who have some cows, we know there is now mixing of tomato paste with acaricide to spray cows. We have tick-borne diseases. We have things crossing across our porous borders with northwestern Tanzania. So if you assume that this farmer has to have all these inputs, they need some, let me call this person a consultant or a vet extension official or whatever it is. From the farmer, you will have, let me say, an aggregator. Because when we produce milk, aggregator, let me always my handwriting has died too. So an aggregator is one who has a motorbike. If I use the Dale example, motorbike, bicycle, they collect this, they put it on the pickup truck, then they find this 10,000 liter truck, they pour in, then you at the factory cold pile something you receive. Is DDA here? You receive a 10,000 liter tanker, but you really do not know where it came from. So if I assume an aggregator in fruit and veg, maybe this one is like a pack house. Pack house. Is there anyone from flowers here or fruits and veg? Okay, so what I found recently is that many of us grow things, but we don't know where they are sold and who consumes them. Many of us grow coffee, but we don't drink coffee. So we grow 8 million bags, we import 99% of what we consume. So we need to learn to know our products. I don't need to be a flower grower to know what goes in flowers, because that is important if I'm in the media to know what to speak about flowers, fruits, and veg. So let's take this as a pack house. Or call it, this is a point where if it's milk, this is where DDA, this is where UCDA if it is coffee. This is where inspection takes place for exports. So this is a very important person, and he has to shift his weight to a transporter. A transporter. So you now assume the transporter of pineapples from Masaka or fruits or cabbages the truck they are using, yesterday it carried goats or something else. There has to be some level of basic licensing here of the nature of a truck, licensing or inspection. What kind of truck is carrying this material that has come from a farmer, is going to the market. Straight, this person will bring it, let's say, a shipper. Who is here? There's no shipper here. Okay. So a shipper is, let's say, Uganda Airlines. So let's say Musk, or let's say someone where you will need documentation called the bill of lading, or you will do some warehousing at this stage, and you have URA here checking what is being shipped out. Is that correct, Mwesko? Am I drawing something that makes sense? Okay. So this shipper takes this product. Let me use my recent example, Serbia, to a distributor. A distributor. Now, you know, distributors are not seated just waiting for, the product has come from Uganda. Sorry, there are products from all over the world, and their systems have been perfected and processes over a long time. They don't care at all where this comes from. So yesterday I was reminded of personal example. So when I met my wife, this is really personal, right? The night we met, first time. So I chose the shirt I wore. I cleaned up my car, right? I came on time. I cooked the table. I was in charge of how things should look like, right? And then I received her. That's what happens if you want to sell in the market. Did you get the gist? So if the ladies are laughing, right? If a man doesn't do that, they really don't care about you very much. If you're here and you're not married, right? Why do you want to sell in my market if you are not set to compete? And you think because you have an sorry, this distributor is paid top dollar by other companies to stop your products. So that distributor, maybe he will have some warehousing. Is my example scaring people? I see some people cringing. Huh? That's what I did 23 years ago. So that's how God has been kind to me. Okay, so from a distributor, there is a person here we call a salesman. A salesman is someone like who, maybe Engado Moses, I saw him there. Comes, he knows the language, he really gets these products from all over the place, and he knows how to speak about them, and he's the one who takes your product probably to a retailer. Okay? So who's a retailer? It's a supermarket, it's the corner shops, it's in developed countries. This retailer charges a top dollar for shelf space. Shelf space is a profit center. Every little space in those, in Sainsbury's, in the DIS in Serbia, they measure by how much I can make in a month. If I put my coffee and in a month it hasn't gone, you pay me. The supermarket, I throw away your stuff, I bring Colombia. So imagine a country that has not done marketing, that has not done preparation. You just carry your coffee because it's from Bugisu, it's very nice. They just chase you. Nobody knows who you are. So this retailer, taking a lot of time, is the one who eventually brings you to who? To the customer. So you count for me the distance between Uwawogo at his farm and the person who buys. How many players are in? How many? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are gates that are locked to your product. They are locked, bolted. Don't come here unless you are smart and you plan how to get to this customer. Now, please remember that the customer is going to pay for everything here. The customer will pay, first of all, for R&D. R&D does not need to be a big machine you create. Just system improvement between the farm and the aggregator. He will pay for transport, he will pay the shipper. Remember, the customer has many alternatives and he has too many questions to ask these days. Where is this grown? How was it transported? Right? How did it get? Is it from a country that disturbs women? Sorry, I cannot buy it because I have many, many options. So this, for me, is where I thought, you know what? Every process here has a document or two, or three, or more. Correct, Mwambo? Now, if I add up all these documents, I will end up in URA, DDA, UCDA, NITA, Minister of Trade, Minister of Agriculture, before I can ever get to who? Which exporter has that time? And which customer cares about all your nice university degrees and documents and sign and big cars? Nobody cares. You need a sense of humility to understand that the customer has money and has very limited time and he has so many options. And therefore, that's why I want to thank you, Girish, because initially I didn't understand this. If I can take this process I've mapped here, right? I'm just doing this for the media to understand. Please, we are not signing MOU for money. Katiba signing is a sente. Bino si bya sente. Bino bya kulowooza ekya tunakola tutya. Tomorrow, how should our children trade if we don't do it today? AI is here, but us the older people don't realize it. I keep telling people, if you've gone on Google and you're trying to buy something with your card and they say, are you a human being or are you a robot? That's AI asking you. And then tick the boxes that have electric poles. Tick how many buildings. Tick how many cars. That's Elon Musk working with Google to gather information from you so that he can put a couple of years from now driverless cars on all roads on planet Earth. That's how people think. Because if the car is so intelligent to differentiate a building, an electric pole, and a human being, you are giving him free data, but you are in your documentation phase as Minister of Trade, as Minister of Agriculture. He's moved on. Eventually, they will start to demand that you pay double price for a human being driving a car. These things will be here very soon. You will change your roads, or if you fly to another country and you want to drive, they'll take you through a scanner and say, here, no driving for any African. Go back, drive in your bushes. So by doing these things, we're preparing our country, our young people, to make it easier to realize. Now, I can also do this and deal with what has been bothering Mambo with Mutahunga. It's called traceability. I can trace the product from the farm to the consumer. So, this agreement we're signing today has taken a lot of time. For me, I have about 4 things I see. The first is you integrate the small farmer and take control of all the elements in the value chain. All these things I drew here, each party here must feel confident, right? That in this ecosystem I have a role. Minister of Agriculture should feel confident as much as trade, as much as DDA, as much as URA. If you don't have the confidence of any of these, and confidence starts with, how do I map the process? Is this process credible? If you want to build an ecosystem, you must ensure that all these support the small farmer on whose government is putting a lot of effort to do parish development model, but that poor farmer does not know what the customer preferences is going to be and what price. So this process, once it is mapped, it will help us bring all those elements and link with this small farmer. And when I say the small farmer, somewhere here, between the farmer and an aggregator, there might be a co-op. There might be a consortium on vanilla, on coffee, on our 13 products where we are looking for 6 billion in the next 5 years. I jumped some of the spaces. Number 2, this for me enhances the other 4. You see, we have a 4-pillar model. Our intervention, our value creation as Paceid is based on just 4 things. 1, stop blind trade. Enter the markets of the world with trade representation, with a trade hub. Do some market research. Don't go in any market without information on what you're going to do, right? Second intervention we make is once you have the market, it says, please comply. There's a standard. That's why you have Mwambu here. So do you have your food safety law? Do you have your animal feeds sorted out? Do you have your veterinary drugs? Do you have all these questions are asked by the customer and somewhere by the regulators of those countries, because that's how they block you out, right? So comply to standard, supply the market. The third, we say not all infrastructure is helpful at every time for an exporter. If I have more labs built in the right places, if I have Uganda air cargo flying into Kinshasa cheaper, I can land some trays of eggs and chicks in Kinshasa, and then I take these to Congo Brazzaville, I take them to Central Africa. Those are the highest consumers of Polish eggs. Poland produces eggs and flies them or ships them into Africa. I have told you this story before. Last May in Kinshasa, here we are in the room talking about Ugandan beef. No, 16 million heads of cattle. Right? We're good. No, we can supply you all the meat. The tax landed a ship of offals 20 cents a kilo. What? Before I can set off from my farm, I am $4 under. The tax are landing the ship at 20 cents. You think Congolese will buy your meat? You must think through the whole process. And so, infrastructure is necessary to lower costs of export. The final one, which is tied into this, is called export credit funding. We're working so hard to ensure that we can take an instrument supported by government of Uganda and raise money for exporters to borrow at 1%, 1.5%, and make sure that we give it to you for 90, 100 days, you pay back as your invoice is paid. How will I know you unless I have taken you through this process? So this exercise enhances our Trade Frontier Fund. That's why I really like it. Unless you have this documentation listed, don't come to the fund. Period. It doesn't matter how you like the president or the minister is your cousin, go away. We want you to first fulfill this. The other value I see is credibility with our new partners. So Serbia, they are coming here end of September. They want us and them to negotiate a comprehensive product entry into their country with limited to no tax. My fight is on coffee. How much ready to drink ground and roast coffee can I sell to you in terms of tonnage? Where is it coming from? Who's the grower? I will show them how I trace my coffee. Makes life easier. I will show them how URA gets its documents done. By doing that, I have created trust and confidence that the Germans will not come on the market of Serbia and say, kick them out. No, I fulfill the standard. So credibility. Finally, we will have strengthened the Uganda supply chain. The Uganda supply chain is very, very weak. Very, very weak. Seasonal, the logistical issues are tough. Too much paperwork. I was reading in your document, Girish, this morning that a study was done in UK in 2006, and they found to trade in UK, the process had 1 billion documents, 1 billion documents, and 188 of that 1 billion were like forged, fake documents, 30%. So I kept thinking, how much of our documents in Uganda are legit? if UK's documents 20 years ago as we're suffering that way. So I call on you government institutions, really, that we work together to build an ecosystem. Nobody knows Uganda. You assume nobody knows you. Assume you are going on a hunt to find a debt. How would you prepare your country to get in another country to be seen? You must clean your house, clean your car, set the table, plan ahead the things I told you at the start, so that when the bride called this market arrives, whoa, this guy is better than the one I have had for a long time. Please welcome Uganda onto the table. That's why we are setting up trade hubs. So we'll be setting up one in Entebbe soon. Dubai, next. London, next. New York, next. So that the reflection you see outside, when you land at our airport, you can see it. My prayer is that I can do it at Elegu. I can do it at Maraba. So that progressively we do an integration of all our exports, including tourism. Coffee. So you get coffee, you get the tourists arriving, you have a sense of integration by doing this. So media people, does this make sense? Shall we report it in what it is? So what we're signing today is a sandbox model to get us to do this. Once we pass that model, we're running and we will build an ecosystem that strengthens our exports. Thank you very much.